My name is Gustav, and I have always been more gifted than the others. I ran faster than the other boys at school. I could tackle all of them in a matter of seconds. I climbed trees like nobody else. I could punch an older boy and run away before anyone could grab me. And I loved being the matchless one. I loved being envied. It was almost too late when I realized there were other talents that could take you far. One of them is exploring knowledge. Those lame, quick learners who couldn't run or fight were about to become doctors, lawyers, royal advisors, and scholars. They were to shape the world. And me? Was I meant to work with my hands like someone only a little better than a slave? No, never. It was the first time envy actually talked to me. Its wave was so strong and overwhelming that it triggered a powerful reaction in my mind. To my shock, I realized that I could do certain things nobody else could. I thought they called it magic, and it was real talent, the best in the world. Greetings, I'm Barrett, and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're diving into Grimcoven. We are going to be doing a full playthrough of this game. I am super excited to show you this. I did a prototype a while back, and Awakened Realms was nice enough to send me a review copy, so everything you see here was given to me by Awakened Realms, so thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to show you this fantastic boss battler with a dice placement mechanism. In this playthrough, we are going to be controlling two hunters going against one of the Griefbounds. I'm going to go over a complete setup of the game so that you know how to set your game up. And then on top of that, we are going to go through an entire playthrough of this game. We're going to try to take this guy down. Now, if you're excited to see if our hunters can take down the Griefbound, then I need you to meet me at the table. The grief round I decided to try to play against today is going to be the Tormentor. I'm super excited for this one because I really like the way the miniature looks, and so we're going to see how he works. I'm sure this is going to be a beatdown, and I don't think it's going to be us doing the beatdown. Let's take a look at his book to show you how this sets up. Each of the Griefbounds are going to have a group of scenarios. There are usually 5 in a book, and it's going to tell you how to set up the map, which I have already done. It tells you all the different tiles you're going to need and where to place them. Next, it tells you how to set up your environment. For this particular one, we're going to use 8 lament rifts, 3 portals, 3 treasure tokens. We're going to place lament tokens based on the rule book, which for 2 is going to be 1 on every even numbered space since we're playing with 2 of our hunters. Next, we're going to draw 3 random landmarks. That has already been done. I've actually already set up the whole map, but I just wanted to talk you through a little bit about what you're seeing here. For the terrain, we're going to draw 1 random terrain card for the forest, and we're going to place that on near the map. And then for the area, we're also going to draw 1 of those as well and add it to the map. I haven't had a chance to draw the environment yet, so we're just going to give these a little truffle shuffle here and draw out one of the cards. We have got ourselves a shape-shifting forest, and then the other one we're going to draw is one of these environment area cards. We're just going to draw one of these randomly, see which one we get. We'll draw that one. We also have the witch hunt. So those are the 2 different areas that we're going to have, or environments we're going to have in our particular game. Where they're going to set up our enemies, we have an event deck with 3 Tormentor events, 5 random event cards. We're going to grab 1 random minion and put 4 minions on the board. Since I'm playing with 2, there'll be a total of 4 minions. It's our number of hunters times 2. We're going to take an elite random non-named card face down and place a generic token on it. For 5, I'm going to set up 2 random elites. We're not playing with 5, we're only playing with 2. Next, we're going to set up the individual Griefbound attack deck. This is going to be a 2-player game, so we're going to have 4 1 bubbles, 2 2 bubbles, and 1 3 bubble card. I'm going to guess that these are going to be the difficulty of those particular cards to not only wound, but also going to be how powerful those cards are. This particular enemy comes with torture devices, so we're going to lay them down randomly, and we're going to place a portal in each chosen space. And then, of course, our starting space is going to be any of the portal spaces. When everything is said and done, this is what your map is going to look like. The treasure tokens are going to be placed out here. These are where the torture devices are going to go. We have our 3 portals out there as well. This is where our witch hunt is going to go, because that is a random one. And then, of course, what you see this gray right through here is going to be fog. and that is going to block line of sight through it. You can always see somebody that's in the fog. So for example, if I had an enemy here and I was in that fog, I would have line of sight to him. But if the enemy was in the fog and I was here, I would not have line of sight to that particular enemy. Just to tell you a little bit how fog works. And I'll probably talk about it more during the playthrough. Here's our board. I do have our 3 environment cards out there. We have a carriage. We also have a ball and chain and an abyss forge. And I have the 3 cards for them right here. The abyss forge itself is going to be place the abyss forge on the map and place this card next to the map. And then if we decide to interact with it, we will deal with it based on what these are. And I'm sure you'll see some of this as we go. The carriage is the same. We're going to set the carriage up on the map just like I have, and then we'll leave the card next to the map. They have a ball and chain. This one's kind of unique. I'm going to place the ball and chain on the map, which is shown up here. And then when I interact with it, it's a permanent event. They can't be discarded. And at the beginning of the event step, I can roll a die and resolve one of these if I wish to. That is going to be the deal. We'll place those cards right down here next to the other event cards that we have. I have treasure chests out here, and I didn't put the tokens. Here are the tokens for the treasure chests. I've just mixed these up, and we'll just draw them randomly as we pick one of the treasures up. And what you see out here is not what normally comes with the game. These are actually upgrades. This is part of the terrain pack that you can have as part of one of the pledges or to be able to add to it. And same with these. These are acrylic tokens that came with one of the upgrade components to the game. The next thing to set up is going to be our Griefbound. This is the playmat that came with the pledge, and it has the ability to set everything up for you on this little area here. See, this is a board you would normally place down, and it does have spots for all this kind of stuff. I have a lot of cards all spread up because we have to figure out exactly all the cards we need. We're going to start with making our event deck, which is the first thing that would happen during the Griefbound step, and we'll go through those, of course, as we play through the game. You're going to take the 3 cards that have to do with the Tormentor himself. We're going to take those 3 cards and then mix in 5 random cards. So we're just gonna give these a little truffle shuffle here, get them ready to go. And we're gonna draw 5 of these out of here so that we have them ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are going to be our event cards. We're gonna shuffle the event deck up then, and it'll be all set to go. This is also a timer in the game. If you ever have to draw an event card and there are none to draw, you have lost the game. The next thing is we have to draw 1 convicted minion. There are 2 different kinds of minions. There are undead, I believe, and then these convicted ones. We're going to just draw out one of these randomly and see which one we have. We have the assassin. Now, actually, I have played against this one, so I would like to try a different one. So we are going to mix these up a little bit more and draw a different one. We have the cultist. We're actually going to play against the cultist due to the fact that I have tried the assassin. It was in the prelude or the learn to play game. And actually, that is the only thing I've played so far is the learn to play for this. So this is going to be a a learning experience for us both. This game itself is actually a very difficult game, and I really enjoy that about the game. It gives you a chance of you have to kind of learn the bosses and learn how they work, and then it gives you a better chance of fighting. So if you lose your first couple tries, don't be discouraged. That's actually probably going to happen because they are a little tough. And once you kind of learn how these bosses work and how these elites work, that it's going to become a little bit easier for you to maneuver and try to figure out what could potentially be coming next. Now, of course, it is a little difficult because look at all these attack cards. You can't fully be able to guess what they're going to do, but you have at least a general idea of how it's going to work. Now, we're going to draw 4 of these cards. These are the, I guess you could say basic attacks, but I don't think there's a single basic attack in here. We're going to grab 4 of those. We're also going to grab 2 of these because these are the number 2 cards. We're just going to give those a little mix here and draw 2. 1, 2, there we go. And then the last one is we're going to take one of these level 3 cards and put that in there as well. Once those are done or received, I should say, I'm going to shuffle this entire deck up. And we're going to put this down on the map. I'm going to shuffle it sideways so I don't know what the top card is. We're going to place it like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up this card by putting down this turn and next turn. We have to destroy these cards. If we're ever able to destroy all the cards so there's only 2 left on this board and all the rest are dead, we'll flip the final attack card and we'll go into the final part of the game where we have to try to defeat the boss. And if we're able to defeat him, then we win the game. But in order to get to that final part, we have to destroy some of these cards. And each one of these cards is a different body part. So for example, here's the head, here's the torso. And if you're attacking this person, you're going to do damage to these cards. If you do enough damage to see the card equal to the value down here, you're going to be able to destroy the card. And you're going to gain Lament, which is kind of like experience. It boosts your character and gives yourself better abilities and some dice that you can help use your character more often during the game. Of course, the more of that you get, the more corrupted you become, and you could eventually corrupt yourself too much, and it's bye-bye city here. I'm not going to be able to make it. That is all set up now. The other thing we have to do is get our stage deck all set. The Tormentor has its own stage deck. We're going to shuffle those 4 cards up and put them out there. Some of these stage decks are going to be a permanent event. Some are going to be just out there. We have our corruption cards. We're going to shuffle those, and we're going to place these out here. We're going to draw those at the end of each of our rounds. And they're going to either give us bonuses or detriments to our characters based on the amount of corruption and hunger and things we have for our character. So hopefully it'll go our way and things will go well. Now, the good news is we do, of course, know what these enemies are going to do as we attack. Also, if you're able to destroy this, you're going to be able to gain an opportunity. Opportunities are usually good for you. You're going to roll a die and be able to gain part of this. On a grief-bound card kill, I get to roll a die, and I'm going to be able to add one of these abilities to my character after killing it. So, for example, do not refill the attack track. That's going to be really good. Each hunter in 0 to 1 may discard 2 status tokens or 2 hunger to refill the attack track. Each hunter in 0 to 1 may sprint or discard 2 status tokens and then refill the attack track. So we do have that ability underneath now. There are different ones, and there are also different final attack cards. That depends on which scenario you're playing. It tells you which ones to place down. That's almost done. I forgot to do the elite. The elite, it does tell me to take a random elite, shuffle these all up. They can't be a named elite. There are some that are named, which are probably going to be used more for the level 5s. We're going to place it down. Now, lucky me, I'm not actually going to know which one it is. I'll be kind of surprised. I could know it if I want to, but I am going to place one of these generic tokens on here. It did tell me to do that. So we're going to place that like that. It could be any one of these 3 miniatures, so I'm just going to leave them right there, and when the time comes to figure out what that is, we'll put our miniature on the board. The next thing we're going to do is set up our hunters. I have them pretty much all set up and ready to go. The first thing we do is take our placard for our hunter. There are 2 sides. There's a regular side and a corrupted side. The corrupted side does not activate until you get this much lament. Then you become corrupted. You're going to flip it to the other side, and you're going to change your miniature out to a different miniature to show you that you're corrupted. I'm going to start with 13 health. Whenever I get to move, I'm going to be moving 2 spaces with this gunslinger. And I do want to mention that the gunslinger was voted on by my Patreon supporters. Interestingly enough, when I looked at the Patreon poll for this game, the 2 ones that got the most votes were the Technomancer and the Death Jester. And interestingly enough, I did some research on the internet, and a channel called Dicing with Death, they did a playthrough with the Technomancer and the Death Jester. So I wanted to shake it up a little bit and use different ones than they did. And the next highest one was the Gunslinger, so that is the one we're going to use. If you're interested in seeing the Death Jester and the Technomancer in action, please go check out Dicing with Death. Like I said, they did a playthrough of them. I will put a link to it in the description of this video so you can check out those characters as well. Once we have our character placard there ready to go, we have our lament track, which always starts at 0, or corruption track, I'm sorry. And then we also get to pick from 3 different weapons and 3 different armors. I have chosen these 2. Are they the right 2? I don't know. But like I said, the more we play, so for example, if I lose this scenario, maybe I'll switch up my weapons and try again. Because now that I saw how this boss fights, maybe a better weapon would have actually helped me in the situation. So it's all kind of, like I said, a learning curve for the first battle or so that you fight. And then once you learn the boss, it becomes a little bit easier. And I really like that system because these are all one-shots. This is not a campaign game at all. There is a small little section in the game where you can kind of gain a little bit of a, I don't want to say campaign element, but it gives your characters kind of some bonuses. And that's the expansion part for the personal stories. I think these are really cool. They have 8 different storybooks and cards that can, and bookmarks, of course, and of course this rulebook, and it tells you how to use it. Now, if you're playing this, I could take my book for the gunslinger, and then I could learn a little bit about the gunslinger here on the first page, and it tells me a little bit about him and kind of a little story to it, and then it gives me a quest. At the end of the hunt phase, each of your weapons and armor actions have a dice on them. I would read entry 2, and then I would continue through this book, and once you go through this book, you could potentially gain more weapons, armor, or you could gain different cards that go along with your character. Well, these are bookmarks, sorry. You could get different weapons and armor, or maybe different ability cards that you can put into your deck. So I really like this expansion part of the game. I think that's really, really cool. Now for this particular playthrough, since I'm just doing the one play, I'm not going to be using that book, but do know it is available. And I think it's a really good thing to have if you're interested in a game like this and you're okay, because it gives you at least some incentive as you're playing that if you lose, it's just not all for not, it's not for just losing. You are learning about the boss, but then you're also kind of learning a little bit about your character as well. All right, that's our character. Now, I also have dice. This is a dice placement game, as you can see on these different cards that I have and on my actual board itself. We're going to be rolling these dice during our turn and being able to place them out to perform actions. And our armor and our weapons both have action slots that we can put them in, and then there's the 4 generic ones as well. The dice that we get are equal to our starting equipment here. So it says 2 blue, 2 green, and a black. Those are the dice I have. So 2 green, 2 blue, and a black for our character. Our evolution deck is here. It's a giant deck, which is pretty cool. You can just fan it out and see those awesome cards. These are going to be able to be gained as you go up your track. If you ever cross into an unlock slot, you're going to unlock 2 cards, and you can choose to keep one of them or discard both of them to gain a new die. Or you could also spend one of your lament to put those 2 back into the deck and draw 2 new ones if you wish to. Each character does have a special ability that kind of goes with the type of character that they are. The gunslinger here has this ability to forge bullets. The bullets he can forge is going to be placed here. I do have these little things, so I'll be placing them down like that. They are normally a cardboard token, but I have the little upgrade packs, so we're going to use it because they're pretty cool. I love little blinking out little games. I think that's great. If I am able to forge this bullet, then I can add extra damage to my weapons as I play through the game, and you'll see how that goes. Down here is where I can put my defense tokens that can block damage coming in, and then this is going to be where we put our tactics token. And I do want to mention, I incorrectly said that if you go here, it's if you go here. If you go to 15, then you flip to your corrupted side. It even says on the board. My apologies. I'm so used to putting the miniature up here, and that's supposed to be that one. No, I forgot. It's this one right here, 15. Once you get to 15, lament, corruption by spending lament, then you get to flip to your other side, and your guy becomes a little bit different. For example, our gunslinger will be able to, again, still have his special ammo, but he's always ready. He prepares bullets. He's going to be in a more powerful state. But the more corrupted you are, the more chance that you're going to have detrimental effects when you draw corruption cards. So it's kind of a yin-yang balance you have to try to have. The other character we are going to use is called the Keeper. This is me. I want to play this guy. I chose this. My Patreon supporters had nothing to do with this guy. I wanted to use this guy. This guy's going to be awesome. This particular character, I've explained most of how this works. He does start with 16 health. The way this guy works is he's going to be doing has this hunger ability, and he's got this super awesome sword. This sword is going to gain these different pieces to it, and he's going to be able to gain these and spend these to do different damage or boost abilities, or be able to help with healing or remove statuses and things of that nature. So he can get up to that many of these. I just think this is super cool that you get to build a sword. Look at that sword. That's awesome. Now I also have my dice over here that I got from my cards. I decided to take the knight's armor, which potentially could give me more armor slots for him, because I think is going to be in the front line, and I think this guy is going to just charge us and start beating us. So I want to have the ability to soak up some attacks. I think that'll be good for him. And this is the only weapon he is able to gain. Unlike the other hunters that have 3 weapons they can choose from, this is his weapon. He has to use this. And based on what he puts down, he's able to do something. Now, sadly, I have to get a double magic symbol in order to really activate his big attack weapon. There was an armor that gives him more purple dice, but sadly, I decided to go with this one. I think having more armor is going to be a little bit better. We'll see. Again, I may have chose the wrong armor pieces, and going through the game, I might have to learn to come back and fight him with a different set of armor and weapons. Now, I don't believe he starts with anything on his sword. If I'm wrong about that, please leave me a note in the comment section of the video. It was a little unclear. It didn't tell me how many I start with. I don't think I start with any. We do have our 2 help cards that are dual-sided that are going to help us throughout the game to explain how this works. We're going to start with the game with our game round order. Our hunter phase is going to go first. We're going to perform 2 actions or pass. And if you've ever played Nemesis, it is very similar in the way the action system works. You have to perform 2 actions. Once you perform 2 actions, it moves to the other hunter. If then that hunter will perform 2 actions, then it will come back to your hunter. And you continue doing 2 actions back and forth until you decide to pass, or you take only one action and you decide to pass, then that is it. Once you pass, you are done. If I only performed this one action, let's say I put a double dice right here and performed that action, and that's the only one I did for the turn, that would be it for my character. I would not be able to use the rest of these dice. Of course, that's probably not going to be more often than not the case. You are going to be using a lot of your dice, but I do want you to understand how that works. It's exactly how Nemesis works. You have to perform 2 actions if you want to continue in the game. Then it goes to the other hunter, 2 actions. Then it's going to come back and you can again perform 2 actions. If you ever do not, like I said, you have to pass. You can, from what I understand, activate actions and not actually do them just so you can continue playing and keeping your 2 action economy going. I could be wrong about that, and if I am, please leave me a comment about that. But from how I understand it, I could put 2 here, and if I already had 2 defense in both of these slots, this says I get 2 defense tokens, I wouldn't be able to gain them because I've already had filled slots. Now, technically I could turn them into 4 slots, but that's beyond the point. Basically what I'm trying to say is if you couldn't place these tokens, I still could place the dice there to be able to at least perform an action, if that makes sense. So I just wanted you to be aware of how that works. Okay, once we perform our 2 actions, we'll go to the other one, and then all hunters play their turns until the hunters pass. So let's go ahead and start this off. Now, of course, we don't know exactly what our actions are yet because we have to roll our dice. Oh, and I have to pick a starting player. And we have to place our heroes onto the map at any portal space. I'm going to put our gunslinger here, and I almost want to put our keeper there as well. But I think I'll put our keeper up there and see how it goes. Now, it also depends on how we roll our dice. Now, in case you're wondering how much table space this takes up, I do get questions about that. This is, again, a 3 foot by 5 foot gaming table. My topper is on top of the gaming table, so it is a little bit more than that. The playmat you see here is exactly 3 feet by 5 feet. The mats themselves, like I said, do not have to be used. So if you have a smaller table, you could just put different components in different places, but it does fit pretty easily on a 3 foot by 5 foot table. Our maps are usually about this size, maybe a little bit bigger, so that it's not going to, there isn't one that's going to be absolutely enormous that's going to take up like 4 feet of a table. So the board is rather compact compared to some other games, and our amount of places we need for our players and our Griefbound is not that big compared to some of the other games. So this is how much table space it takes up, and I think you could manage to fit this on a pretty small table if you needed to, being able to put different parts of it on different places if you have side tables that you could use. We'll roll up our keeper's dice and see what action dice that person has. A couple attacks, a move, some magic, that's pretty good. And then we'll roll up our gunslingers and see what dice he has. He has double shields, a double move, lots of move, and 1 attack. Before I perform my first action, I did forget to set down the witch's hut that I need to put down. There is this witch's hut, it says here, the cryptic marks on the half-open door making you remember dark rumors of a goddess who, for some reason, became the prisoner of the abyss. So I've set up this card, and now I'm going to discard this. So actually, I don't even need that on the board because the rest of the stuff is actually on the tile here. As an action, I can steal the witch's tools. I'll draw a secret 10 card. Or I can speak to the witch. I can resolve a number 11 card if I wish to. So there's something we can do right next to where my character is if I want to do that. I think I'm going to forego that though, and I am going to spend a dice to run. I can put any die I want there because it does not have a symbol. If I wanted to sprint though, I would have to use that particular die in order to sprint. So we'll place the die we want to use right there in the move space, and I can move up to 1 space. So I'm going to move right over here next to that ball and chain. Next, I'm going to activate my sword. I'm going to spend 2 dagger symbols here, 2 attack symbols, you could say, right there. You can either spend them as a double dagger, or 2 of the same ones can activate a particular spot on the card. So we are going to deal 1 damage, 0 to 1, and on a kill, I'm going to gain 1 of my hunger call. So I'm going to deal 1 damage to this minion, and minions all only have 1 damage each, so this minion is off the board. Whenever you destroy a minion, you also get 1 lament, so I'm going to give myself 1 lament for the keeper. You can also pick up lament if you end your movement on any lament spaces. Also, you can gain chests as well. Of course, all the chests are on torture spaces, which are super bad. Because as you can see, these torture spaces, this one says on entry, I gain 2 burn tokens. You do not want burn tokens. You do not want stun tokens. You don't want curse tokens. You don't want hunger tokens. And surprise, surprise, all of them do that. Our gunslinger is going to go to town with his long rifle. He's going to spend 1 attack die to do 1 damage within 2+ and line of sight. I am kind of noticing that I may not have the best weapon for this one, but we shall see how this all transpires. Then I'm going to spend 2 movement symbols to deal 1 damage in 2+ and line of sight. If the body part was ahead, I would deal 2 damage instead. The reason I said that I may not have the best gun for this is I have to have line of sight and they have to be 2 or farther away. So 1, 2, this one is able to be shot. So I'm going to shoot this one for 1 damage and I'm going to gain a lament for our gunslinger. Second, I'm going to shoot this one for 2 and for 1, sorry, and I am going to gain a lament for that character and enemy as well. We'll place those back on the grief-bound board. The reason I'm saying this isn't the best weapon is because all of this is technically fog. As you can see by the actual symbol here, you cannot see into this. So I physically cannot 1, 2 shoot this guy. If I get up right next to him to be able to attack him, if you notice, most of my attacks say range 2+. So he might just be in charge of taking out a lot of the enemies around him, and I might be focusing on taking that guy down with the keeper. At least we'll see how it goes. Those are the first 2 actions for that character. We'll move back to the keeper. The keeper is going to sprint, which is going to give me +1 movement. So I now have 1, 2 movement. And then for my second actions, again, we are going to attack with our weapon. We're going to deal 2 damage to somebody within range 0. This guy is super slow, but he is still going to move 1, 2. And the amount of enemies and things you can have in one of those squares is 4. You can only have 4 points of, I guess, things in there. The environmental things on the board, for example, this does count as 1. Our griefbound counts as 2. So right now there's technically 3 points of things in this particular square. If I moved in there and there were 2 of the enemies in there as well, these minions, I would have to push one of them out. You can only ever have 4 points of, I guess, things in a square, I guess is one way to put it. All right, so I am right there. I am going to attack him with our sword for 2 points of damage. So we'll place 2 damage on a particular card I wish to. I'm actually going to put it on this one. The reason why is because if this one activates, it's going to discard and this is going to move down. I'm still only going to need 5 to deal damage to that card, and I'm just going to have to soak up all of this card, what it's going to do, and that's going to be okay. If I were to be able to do 2 damage to this card, it's not going to do the focused effect that you see on the card. The focused effect does not happen if you're able to do damage equal to the number of hunters to a card. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to put them on here. We're going to do the 2 damage there. This card then, when it does fire off, unless I can somehow do 2 damage to it, it's going to activate its focused effect along with the rest of the card that is there. These are the acrylic tokens. There's 1s. There's also 10s and 3s. They're a little bit tough to see on these. The cardboard ones actually are a lot easier to see what damage you're putting on. As you can see by the actual tokens here, it's a lot easier to read them. So I might switch to those because they are going to be easier to see on the camera. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to put 2 right there. At this point, we're going to go to our gunslinger. Our gunslinger can now perform 2 actions. I never actually talked about the basic actions. They are pretty basic. There's move, sprint, tactics, and cleanse. Move and sprint, of course, run and sprint are pretty obvious. You're able to run with your speed value. Sprint allows you to run with your +1, and you can go through portals if you wish to. Tactics, I can gain a tactics token. That tactics token then will be placed onto our character board right here, and we can spend that token to reroll any of our dice if we wish to in our dice pool. The next one is cleanse. You're able to discard status effects that are bad. You cannot remove hunger tokens. That's the only status you cannot remove with a cleanse. The other one is assist. Whatever die I put into the assist area here, I'm then able to pass this token over to the keeper, and the keeper can then use that action as if it was this action on my board with this dice. With that die can be used in place of that token. We're actually going to do that. We're going to use this assist to give him this person 2. That's going to be our plan. Then what I'm going to do is I don't really have any way to hit anything anymore. So we are going to move 2 spaces with our gunslinger, and we're going to move away from this bad guy. We're going to move over to here 2 spaces. Since I ended on a lament, I'm going to be able to pick that up. And now it moves over to the keeper after performing my 2 actions. He's in a very bad spot. He's right next to the bad guy, and there's not much I can do about that, because I could have gave him a move die if I wanted to, but both of his move slots have already been used. So giving him the move die was not going to be beneficial. Like I said, I gave him the 2 shield tokens to use right here. This gives him the ability to gain 2 shield tokens. So he's going to be able to place 1 right here on this card, and that will soak up 2 damage that he takes before he takes any more. And then I can put another one in his main slot here. So he does have at least, he can soak up about 4 damage. Now, if I do take only 1 damage with my 2 damage token, I still have to remove the 2. I don't get to put a 1 damage down, or defense token, sorry. There's only 2s and 4s. If I had a 4 here and I got hit for 1 damage, I would have to use all 4. I cannot put it down to a 2, so just be aware of that. So if I were able to do this again, I could give myself 2 more and give myself 4 damage for each of those. That's pretty good. Now I could have put it here to discard a token and be able to gain one of my sword pieces, but I don't have that ability because I don't have any defense there right now. So there we go. That person has done 1 action, and that's it. So I have to pass with my keeper. Our gunslinger does have 1 die left. He's going to forge a bullet. So I'm going to place one of these bullets right here. And it says here, when you resolve an action that deals damage, I may discard all bullets to apply their bonuses. This particular bullet is going to be able to do 1 damage. There might be more bullets that you can be able to forge in your evolution deck that is going to give you the ability to shoot off more. I'm not exactly sure. I have not seen all of this deck. Again, this is all new to me. I like to play games new that I haven't played. Like as I play them, it's not something I've played 7 times and I'm playing it again. I like to kind of play it new on the channel so you can see these cards with me and get as excited as I do, because a lot of them are going to be super, super cool. All of our hunters have gone, so it is time to go to the enemy phase. The first thing is we're going to do the event step. And like I said in the setup, it's really neat how they have these out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it tells you exactly what order to do all these in. So our event step is we're just going to, we're going to check the critical injuries. We don't have any of those. We're going to, of course, critical injuries is when you go to 0 health, you actually do kind of come back with 1 last chance, and you have to try to perform some kind of critical check, critical action. And you have usually a critical injury card you take, and you have to kind of work with that to try to get yourself back in the fight. Then I'm going to draw and resolve a new event card. And we're also going to resolve all permanent events. There aren't any permanent events out here, so we're just going to resolve a new event. We're going to draw the top card, see what it is. We have a collapsed portal. This is going to be absolutely terrible. This is one of his. Usually if you draw the cards for them, that is Bad News City. A lament-obsessed monster, the killer of Parthia. The mage laughs among the ruins of the Crowblormy. I remember how it looked at the mentor in the last moments of peace. I would never guess that the flash in those eyes was a promise of death. This is Princess Hilda's memories. I'm going to place 1 lament on Lament Rift 7. Then the first player chooses a portal, discards the portal, and places 1 random treasure in its space. Barf. If you're fighting the Tormentor, teleport each portal to the closest torture device space. Oh, that's horrible. If I ever go through a portal, I'm going to have to go to a torture device. Now, this is not a permanent event, so I am just going to discard this event down here at the bottom. The permanent ones, I guess I would go into these slots here. Actually, I'll discard it right here, and then we'll put the permanent ones here. That'll be the plan. Okay, so we have to deal with that. The first thing we have to do is place 1 lament on number 7 up there. Then we have to choose a portal to get rid of. I guess we'll get rid of this one. Is that a good plan? I don't know. But I get to put a treasure chest there. That's half the battle, right? Okay, that's done. Then I have to teleport these to the closest torture devices. That's amazing. That one's going to go there. This one is 1, 2, 1, 2. I think I get to choose, so I'm just going to choose to put it there. If I don't get to choose, please let me know. Maybe there is it's either supposed to be that way or this way. Again, I'm not exactly sure if there's an actual place I'm supposed to place it based on where it was here and the equidistance, but I believe the first player gets to kind of choose where it happens there. All right, that's the end of that. Now we activate our minions. This one says resolve the first applicable. If there's a hunter in 0 to 3 end line of sight, I get to do the cursed chant. Otherwise, carefully approach, gain 2 defense and move 1. This is a good time to talk about line of sight. The way line of sight works in this game is line of sight is completely in straight lines is line of sight. So if I had a hunter right here, 0 to 3, 1, 2, he's technically not in line of sight of this guy, because how I understand it is his line of sight is that way, this way, and that way. He is actually not in line of sight in that area. Now I'm not over there, I'm over there. And this guy is going to instead move carefully. So he'll move 1, and then he's going to gain a 2 defense chip, which he's going to put in there. These minions can only ever have 1 defense chip in their little slots here. They're not the greatest slots. They kind of slide all over, and this will probably end up on the board more often than not. But that'll be right there, reminding myself that he does have a defense chip. Now, of course, with that defense chip, I have to do either 3 damage or hit him twice in order to be able to kill that minion. Our third step is going to be activating our elite. Our elite now is going to, well, it's going to be pretty easy, but it says here activate all minions, which we did. Then we're going to activate the elite enemy as the third step. The third step is going to say here, remove 1 from this card. When the last one is removed, which it is, there is no longer any there, I am going to spawn the elite enemy on a portal space closest to the Griefbound and flip this card. So we're going to flip this card, see what our elite is. It is the Bellfrog, whatever this thing is. And I am going to place this down on the portal closest to the Griefbound, and the amount of health it has is 6. If I'm able to defeat this, whoever defeats it gets 2 lament, and the other person in the field gets 1. When it activates, it's going to go through all of this. It says here, giant bell frogs blended into one of a bell or cauldron, showing that lament can be anything with a body. That's awesome. So I'm going to find the bell frog. He is right here. We're going to remove these 2. These 2 are probably not going to be used. Now I can't say that because there is a chance that something evil and deadly could come out of some deck that allows me to put down another elite. The place that it is going to spawn is going to be in this place right here. It will not activate this turn. It'll activate next turn, which is going to be super bad and might be something we want to focus on. Now, sadly, I don't think our gunslinger is going to be able to get to a position that can actually shoot this guy, because all of this line is, his line of sight is blocked by all this fog. So we'll see how this goes. He actually has to get to here in order to actually see that person there. And we don't have that portal anymore. The portal's up there, and I decided to get rid of this one. Maybe that was a bad idea. Maybe I should have gotten rid of this one over here. But oh well, we'll see how this goes. Another thing we need to do during the event step, which I forgot to do, was I have to activate my ball and chain. Such magically activated wrecking ball are said to have been used in the first hopeful stages of military campaign aiming to capture back Kroblim, must be the place, later dubbed the Gruesome Retreat. Now the one thing I did set this up, but I didn't read the rest of the card. That was my fault. It says place the bell and chain on the map and place this card next to the event deck. It's a permanent event. This event cannot be discarded at the beginning of the event step. I have to roll a die, so I should have done that during the event step, so let's quickly go do that. I've placed our card there, and we're going to take this 12-sided die that has a lot of symbols on it and roll it up. I got the scratch symbol, which means it's going to move 2 towards the closest hunter, deal 3 damage to each hunter and enemy in 0 of that. So this is going to move 2 right into here, and that is the total of 4 that we can ever have in this particular place. And this is going to deal 3 damage to the hunter and enemy in 0. So that's actually going to hurt the bad guy as well. But first, I have to take 3, so I'm going to soak up 2 and go down to 15. And now I feel bad. Now I wish if I'd have known that thing was coming in, I would have actually hit this thing. But instead, I am going to hit the 3 damage here. Actually, no, I could do this and then it wouldn't be able to focus. No, I'm going to do the 3 damage here. It's going to kill this. I'm going to remove that card, which is going to be good because then when I draw my next one here, this one will go here. This one will go off the board, which will be good. So I'm going to actually gain 1 lament for each of my characters, bringing the amount I have to 2 for my keeper and 4 for my gunslinger. Now, sadly, that ball and chain did not help me. Well, it helped a little bit, but it also hurt me quite a bit. Now, this is not discarded. This is removed. So normally these are going to discard off the map here, and you're going to just be refilling. And like I said, once you get through this entire deck so that only that card is visible with 2 others out here, that's when we go to our final event. Okay, that guy is, well, it did something. All right, that was pretty good. The fourth part is going to be our Griefbound, so he is going to activate based on Gruesome Arrival. Gruesome Arrival does state each hunter moves 1 for each status token they have towards the Griefbound. I don't have any status tokens at this time, so none of them are going to move. And then he's focused. He's going to move 2. The Griefbound may go through torture devices during this movement as if they were portals. He does not have to move. He's actually standing right on top of one of my guys, which is kind of bad, but kind of set it up that way. Then it's going to attack each hunter 0 or 1 with 3 dice. He's going to roll +1 dice if the hunter has no status tokens. My character does not have any status tokens, so he's going to roll all 4 of these dice. Hopefully these are not going to do too much damage. I got 2 of these star symbols and 2 of the scratch symbols. Actually, this is going to be very bad. Each one of the scratch symbols is going to deal 2 points of damage. So I'm going to take 4 damage, and the hunter moves 1 towards the closest torture device. And then these are going to deal 3 damage each. This is horrible. Wow, this is really, really bad. This guy just beats you down. Okay, let's see how this goes. All right, so I'm going to get hit for a ton. I do have a 2 defense token. I was really hoping that I would have 2 to soak up some of this. I didn't realize it hit me for 4 damage. I should have read the card. All right, this one's going to deal 2 points of damage. I'm just going to soak that with my 2 defense token. Then I'm going to take 2 points of damage, going to 15 to 14 to 13. Then I'm going to take 6 points of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going to 7 damage. Oofta! Wow, that's pretty brutal. Okay. Now I do have to move 1 towards the closest torture device as well. Now normally I would have to do that twice, but I'm only going to move 1 here because that's where I think that's where he is. I guess that's the best I can do here. I can choose again which one I want to go to, and I don't want to be, I kind of want to go here so I can maybe take that Belrog out this turn. I think it'd be nice to get that elite off the map. And since we did take out his next card, he's not going to be attacking next round, which would be really good. Now, sadly, landing on that torture device is going to give me 2 burn tokens. Burn tokens are a status, and it says in the status step, I'm going to take 1 unblockable damage for each burn I have. Burns are not discarded afterwards. Stuns are a different type of status, that when you gain a stun token, I place it next to a chosen action. So if I ever get a stun, I'm just going to explain all of these right now. When I get a stun token, I would place it next to an action. So if, for example, I decided to stun this, I couldn't actually place dice there until I am able to remove that stun token. The next one is curse. When you gain a curse, I draw 1 random secret 1 card, and that curse is going to be different based on any of the cards that you draw. So I can't really explain exactly how that works, but some of them you may take damage if you do things, or others might prevent you from doing certain things. So there are different curses, which is kind of cool. It's not always the same thing. Like burn is always going to do the same thing, same as stun. And the final one is hunger. Hunger doesn't do anything on its own, but during the corruption step, when you draw corruption cards, based on the amount of hunger you have, different things could happen. All right, that just gives you a quick rundown of what the different statuses are. And now that we've gone through the resolving attack of this turn, I'm going to discard the attack card and refill the attack track. So like I said, this is going to slide off, but it's going to slide off into the discard area. Wait, where did oh, that's the opportunity card. The card's right here. I was holding onto it. This is going to go into the discard pile, and then this is going to move into the next turn, and it says the Hour of Torture. It's going to move 2 if it's focused. So if I don't care if it moves, then I'm not going to deal damage to it. It is going to attack in the leg, but again, I only have to do 5 damage to it. So we might be able to take out this card. Now, I don't have to take this out yet, because I'm going to have this available to me right now. And it says on a Griefbound kill card kill, roll 1 die. Well, I didn't kill. Oh, so I didn't know. I can. Wait a minute. I'm a little confused about how this works. Do I get to do this because I killed this card and nothing took its spot, or because I killed this, I just don't get this opportunity? Ooh, that's not good. Well, it does say kill card. So I did not kill a card on this, so I'm not going to be able to gain the opportunity of that, and that's going to be okay. At least I know he's not going to activate, which isn't going to be the end of the world. Now, if I kill this card, I would be able to perform the opportunity because I did kill a Griff card. So looking back on this, maybe it would have been better to do the 2 damage, the 3 damage here. This one would have had 2 damage and moved over, that one that I killed, that's off to the side, and then leaving it with only 3, which maybe I could have done the other 2 to it, giving me the ability to actually activate my opportunity, but that's okay. We're done with the Griefbound step, and we'll move into the special step. So our special step is our turn step, the time track step, which all we do is we move it around the different arrows. The first arrow it's going to move to is from start to the special step. The special step on his card states each hunter in 0 to 1 and line of sight from a torture device resolves its on entry effect. Oh my gosh, our keeper just got wrecked. Our gunslinger is nowhere near a 0 to 1 or in line of sight of a torture device. Meanwhile, our keeper is up here in Bad News City. He's going to gain another 2 burn. He now has 4 burn. Now that we're done with that, all with the horror and death of the enemy phase, we're going to flip this over and go to the lament phase. So we're going to go to the corruption steps. We're going to draw and resolve a corruption card for each of our hunters, starting with the first player, which is our keeper. So the first card we draw for our corruption card says Frenzied. This is where the hunger matters. If you have hunger tokens, you're going to activate this top part. I do not have any hunger tokens, so I'm not going to activate the top part. Then I'm going to check my corruption. If I have 0 to 6, it says 5. 0 to 5, I could heal 2 or move 1. We're going to heal 2. I think that's going to be better. 7, 8, 9, going to 9 health. I'm going to need all the health I can get here. If I had more, look at this. I could gain 3 hunger and move. You may gain 2 hunger, move 2. If you don't, you gain 1 hunger. So the more corruption you have, the more detrimental these particular cards are to you. Once you resolve the card, you do put this back at the bottom of the deck. So this deck kind of cycles. The next person is our gunslinger. Our gunslinger is also going to heal 2, lose 1 corruption at the end of the corruption step, and then reshuffle the corruption deck. So he's not actually able to do anything because he's already at full health. He can't heal. He does not have any corruption at this time, so he's not going to lose any corruption. At the end of the corruption step, which is right now, I am going to just shuffle up this deck and get it ready for the next round as I throw it all over the table. All right. That deck goes back where it started from. I'm still at 0 here, but I won't be for long because now that we're done with the corruption step, we are going to spend our lament. I can advance the corruption track by 1 if I discard one of these. So I'm going to discard this, move this up 1, and I have hit my first lock here. So I get to draw 2 evolution cards and see if they're going to help me. The first one is Undying. Once per game, only if you have a critical injury. Put secret card 2 critical injury rules back into the secret deck, heal 3 and remove this card. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Next one is Devouring Strike. It's something that we can do. We spend 5 to place a stun on this, or if I use one of these double dice here, I can deal 1 at 0 to 1. During the action, you may resolve any number of the effects below. The first one allows me to discard 2 hunger to deal 2 additional damage, discard 2 hunger to target additional enemy, discard 2 hunger to discard 2 status tokens. Each effect may be resolved only once during this action. Oh, both of those sound really good. I think I'm going to take Undying because I'm pretty sure this person might fall pretty soon, and that way it gives them a better chance. I'm going to put this back in the bottom of the deck here, discard, there we go, boom, just like that. That's the end of our keeper. Our keeper now does have another token. I could choose to have not taken either of these cards, discarded that last lament to put those back on the bottom and grab 2 new ones. And of course, at any time I could have chose not to take either of these cards and picked another die. Sadly, the other die would have been really nice to have because, I mean, this person really does 4 actions a turn with the dice that I have right now available to me for the most part. I really wish I had a moving die too, because the most I can move really is about 1 to 3 as far as I can go. And I need to cleanse these, which is going to be tough to do. This person's got a lot that needs to happen. Maybe for this particular turn, I am going to remove both of those cards and grab a die. I should take a movement die, but I think I'm going to take another magic die. I'll put my discard die right here. Mainly because I need to cleanse, and my sword, of course, has that double action down here that can do a pretty good amount of damage if I'm able to get it. Is that the right call? We'll find out. Now I'm going to spend my last one to move this up 1. At this point, I can choose, we'll go to the gunslinger first. The gunslinger has quite a bit of lament, so we'll spend the first one to activate this, and we'll grab 2 cards. We have got Take Aim. I can put any dice there to gain 2 tactics. I get to put tactics in there. That's not bad. The next one I have is going to be Headshot. I can put 1 in there. I deal 1 in the weapon range. Body part head, I deal 3 damage instead. The head is not there. I actually took out the head slot by accident, but of course there are going to be more that have headshots in them. But I think, again, I'm going to get rid of both of these to get another die for this particular character. And this character does not have a magic die. So I think we need to get a magic die, because if he's going to push me towards torture devices, that is going to make me have to gain status tokens. It's good to do that. I have 3 more, so we're going to spend 1, 2, 3 to go to 4, which means we are also going to be able to perform this evolution again. So we'll draw another card. We have Headshot again. That's not bad. And then we have Third Eye, Tactics. You may use a tactics token on any roll of this die. Oh, that's kind of nice. When the enemy rolls, depending on what they get, I could have them re-roll this die if I wish to. I think though what I'm going to do is I am going to take my headshot. I'm going to keep that card and we'll place it down here into our action slot and get rid of that card. Now, other things I could have done with Lament is I also could have discarded any of them to discard a hunger token if I wish to. And if I ever reach 15, I get to go to the corrupted side if I want to. The final thing we can do during the corruption phase, or the lament phase, is I could succumb to corruption, meaning I could instead, I could just move my token to the next unlock space. I don't get to gain the benefit, but it moves me farther up the track. That gets me closer to flipping to my corrupted side, which makes me a more powerful creature. But remember, the corruption cards become more dangerous to us. So it's kind of, I have to decide if that's something I want to do. For both my characters at this time, I am not going to do that. At this time, I'm going to go to the refresh step, which I will start by passing the first player token over to our other Hunter. So many words. Then we'll refresh all of the action dice for our characters and regen all dice. And I'll resolve all the refresh steps in effects. So we're going to take all our dice, we'll regen all of the dice that are there for our characters. We have those ready to go. I've done the same thing over on the other side for my gunslinger. He has all of his dice ready to go as well. Part of the refresh step is that I have to return my assist token over to the other character. Oh, that's his assist token. The assist token over to the other hunter. And if any hunters had any of these generic tokens that they had used on specific cards, I would discard all those from their cards. We'll roll up the dice that we have. We'll start with our keeper's dice. We'll see what this keeper gets. A couple of magic symbols, a couple of attack symbols, some defense. Actually, I think that's not too bad roll. Sadly, I didn't get any move with this person. Stuck on that place pretty much. And we'll roll up our gunslingers, see how our gunslinger did. A lot of movement again, a few shields, all right, not bad. Actually, a pretty good set of dice. Now, sadly, I didn't get any magic for this character, but we don't have any status tokens on that character yet. At this point, we're going to go to the status step, which is going to be very sad for this particular individual. For this one, each hunter may discard any number of magic symbols to discard one status token for each status, or one discarded. Then I resolve all the status tokens. So I could spend both of these to remove 2 statuses, but sadly I need those for action dice. But I'm actually going to take a lot of damage here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do have a plan. I know it sounds ludicrous, but believe it or not, I have a plan, even though I have 2 magic dice here. Moving over to our gunslinger, being the first player for this particular phase, I am going to grab the shape-shifting forest card. It says the forest, still imbued with the dark power of the swarm mistress, changes into nightmare every lunar night, which makes it a perfect place for gunslingers to train their acolytes. That's kind of funny because the gunslingers actually use it. Once per hunter phase on any forest space action, take this card, discard 1 die, either a magic or a move, to teleport to any forest space. So this person is going to claim this card for this turn and use a move die. I'm going to discard that. To move to any forest space, I choose that one right there. Do I choose that one? I could choose this one, which is way over here. And I'm still 2+ away from this particular enemy, which is the one I want to hit. Why not? I'll move over there. That's a better spot. I'm farther away from all things bad. For my second action, I am going to spend my double move die right here to deal 1 damage at 2+, and line of sight. The body part is not a head. I'm attacking the elite enemy who does not actually have a specific body part to hit. I am going to spend my bullet to give myself +1 damage, so that is 2 damage done to the elite. So we will place this onto the elite's card. And we'll move over to the keeper. The keeper is going to spend a double die to give himself 2 defense. He loves defense tokens, so he's going to keep taking these defense tokens. I might just keep giving him defense tokens. If I get any abilities to give myself more defensive tokens, I might do that. At this point, I'm also going to cleanse to get rid of 2 status effects, which is what cleanse is able to do. I'm going to get rid of 2 of my burn. And since I completed my action on a space with a treasure token, I can choose to pick that up. We're going to draw the top treasure token and see what we have found. Throw it on the ground. It says here, I can choose to heal 4, gain a green die, or gain 4 defense. Oh, that's so good. I really want that green die, but healing 4 I think is way too powerful. 1, 2, 3, 4, bringing myself back to 9. Oh my gosh, treasure, treasure, treasure. I love treasure. The gunslinger is now going to activate. The first thing I am going to do is I'm going to put a die into my forged bullet step. So I'm going to be able to gain another bullet that is now prepared. I am then going to shoot said bullet into this bad guy, doing another 2 points of damage. So we are now up to 4 damage on the elite, having the elite only have 2 health left. Moving over to the keeper is going to move. I'm going to spend one of my defense dice to move there. Then I'm actually going to gain a tactics token with my other magic symbol, and we'll place that into our tactics pool right there. I'm digging this ball and chain. I'm actually going to move right back into the space where the ball and chain is. I've got a plan. Again, not the best. I'm going to do a headshot, which is going to place 2 dice there to deal 1 damage within the weapon's range. My weapon range, of course, is my long rifle, which is 2+ and requires line of sight. I do have that. I am going to do the 1 damage, bringing it to 5. I then have to pass with my gunslinger. I have no more dice. And then my plan is going to work. I'm going to spend both of these on this card here to deal 1 damage within 0 to 1. It doesn't say anything about needing line of sight, so being in the fog is totally fine. And on a kill, I am going to gain another one of my pieces of sword. I am up to 2 pieces of sword for this particular character, and that is the 6 damage, which then is going to kill this Bellfrog, meaning he is going to gain 2 lament, and our gunslinger is going to gain 1 lament. It does state that when the hunter who killed the elite will roll a die and see how this goes. I got a little star symbol, which means I'm going to place 3 generic tokens on it. All right, that's fantastic. So I kind of have about 3 turns again before I have to deal with another elite. I apologize for not having you see what the elite does. I just happened to take him out. I will show you the card so you can at least take a look. It does say that if there's a hunter within 0 to 3 within line of sight, it uses a tongue grab. It moves 1, teleport 1 hunter in 1 to 3 and line of sight to the space with the Bellfrog and deals 6 damage. So pretty much absolutely horrible. And then 2 stuns to each hunter within 0. So again, absolutely horrible. Otherwise, it's a quaking leap. Teleport to the Lament Rift closest to any hunter. Attack all hunters in 0 to 1 with 2 dice, which are going to deal 3 damage or deal 2 damage a stun. You need to take out elites fast. If you can get them off the board, that is super key because they're brutal. They're about as brutal as this guy. I'm going to go to the event step because that is the first part in the enemy phase. Our event card says Lament Rift. Oh my gosh, another one of his. Place 1 Lament on Rift 3. Each hunter within 0 to 1 of a Lament Rift gains 3 curses and rolls 1 die. Oh my goodness, that's brutal. We'll place our lament right here in number 1, and sadly, my gunslinger is standing right on a lament. So I am in a lament rift, so he's going to gain 3 curses and roll 2 dice. Now, this one is not 0 to 1 to a lament rift, which actually is pretty good for this poor character here. And it now does state, though, well, we'll do this first. We'll gain 3 curses, so we're going to gain 3 of these curse tokens for our gunslinger. And once we do that, we have to draw a card. Whenever you gain a curse token, draw 1 random secret 1 card unless you've already have one. The secret and 1 describes the effect of the curse tokens. Now, I don't draw 1 for each token. I just draw a curse card. And then whenever I get a curse card token, unless I'm able to get rid of all of them, then I discard my card. This one says Curse of Death. Well, that sounds like the worst one. It says here, from now on, every new curse bestowed on you will bring you closer to death. As the first status effect in the status step resolves, if you have 1 to 2 cards, I gain 2 burn. If you have 3 or 4, discard a die, gain 1 burn. If you have 5 curses, set your health to 0. If you have no curses, put this back in the deck. Yuck, I'll place this kind of down here with the rest of the stuff. I'm going to actually move this back to the board because I can't do anything else with that this turn. We'll move that there, but I am going to keep my Curse of Death in there just so I remember that I have it. So I have gained these tokens, and if I have 3 or 4, I have to discard a die when I suffer the status effects step. So I need to somehow get rid of all 3 of those. If I don't, I'm going to at least gain 2 burn during the status effects step, which is going to be boo that. Now, of course, we're not done yet. I still have to roll this cursed die here. I got a scratch, which means which means nothing. Good. I don't have to take 3 damage. Now, if hunters are in 0 to 1 from any portal teleports to the farthest torture device space, triggering the on-entry effect. Oh no, that's super bad. Hunters in 0 to 1 from any portal. Well, I am 0 to 1 from any portal. I am step away from a portal. I was just wanted to stay there, and next turn I wanted to beat on that guy so bad that he's going to wish he wasn't called the Tormentor. He wishes he was called the I didn't come and play the game with you because you beat me up really good. But instead, I am going to end up at the farthest torture device space, triggering the on-entry effect, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Over here, I guess I'll go right there. And because I'm there, I'm going to gain 2 hunger. And sadly, I did not end an action there, so I don't get the chest. I just get hunger tokens, which are these, and I'm going to place them onto my player board for the keeper. Now, technically, again, I think I could have chosen, since I was here, I could have gone 1, 2, 3, or else 1, 2, 3. They're both equidistant. The reason I chose this one is because it's near a portal, so I could actually maybe get back to this enemy here. That's kind of my plan. I can maybe move back through the portal to get him. Of course, I am closer to this guy, which is going to deal me damage, which is not going to be good either. But we shall see. Okay, that was just the event step. Let's continue. Our minions are going to activate, and Hunter within 0 to 3 is going to be attacked. It's going to curse chant. Attack all hunters within line of sight and with 2 dice. Oh, it deals curses. Okay, never mind. I'm not up for cursing. We're going to go back over there. That's where I'm going to go. Not over here. This one is going to careful move. It'll just careful move over to here. It'll bring, like I said, this thing that keeps falling out. That's okay. It's going to move towards him because he is the closest here. That is going to be it. I don't think it's going to do anything else. It does get to gain another 2 chip defense token, but minions, from what I understand, can only ever carry 1 2-chip defense token. They can't carry any more. Our elite will remove 1 from this card, and our Griefbound will not activate because there is no card to activate, so I'm just going to slide these over and get ready for our next attack. Now, if the attack deck ever gets to the point where you can't draw anymore and there are ones in the discard pile, you will not, again, like I said, activate the final attack. You'll just refill the attack deck until you get to a point where there is only 2 and you can't draw another one. Okay, now we have this Hour of Torture is something we have to deal with. Moving to the turn step, I am going to spawn enemies, and we will spawn minions equal to 2 times the heroes that we have out there. So we are going to be spawning 4 minions. We are going to start by putting them on the first lament space that we have that we don't have number of minions for. For example, since there is 1 on here, it's technically going to be 1. We're not going to place something there, but we do not have 2 minions out there, so we are going to place 1 on 2. We're going to place 1 on 3. We're going to place 1 on 4, and we're going to place 1 on 5, which of course is where the gunslinger is, which is where I'm stupid and should not have put him there. Maybe over here would have been a better plan. Oh, and this guy is off the board for now. Should have placed him back over on the elite card so that he's ready to go next time. And I forgot to trigger this. This is something I should have done, and it's called Ball and Chain, and it's an event that cannot be discarded, and roll it at the beginning of the event step. I'm going to forget this every time until I see it on the board. I should roll that before I did any of the other event steps. So technically he would still be in this square. So roll this up. I got a bunch of claws, which is going to be good because this is going to move towards the closest hunter and deal 3 damage to each hunter and enemy in range 0. So that means the Griefbound will take 3 damage. I will put that damage onto the Hour of Torture, and my keeper will discard 1 2 damage slot or defense thing and take only 1 damage, bring it down to 8. We'll enter the Lament phase, starting with drawing our Corruption card. The first one is going to be for our Gunslinger because our Gunslinger is the first player. The Gunslinger is at 4 Corruption right now, so I do not have any hunger. So in 0 to 3, I heal 2 or deal 1 damage at 0. Oh my gosh, that would have been so good, but I'm at 4. I would have killed a minion in my square. Oh my gosh, it would have been so good. Instead, you may deal 2 unblockable damage to 1 other hunter in 0 to gain 1 Lament. If you don't, I gain 2 hunger. So I'm going to have to gain 2 hunger because I can't do this because my guy is so far away. They're on the opposite side of the board. So 4 to 16, you may deal 2 unblockable damage. If you 2/1 hunter in 0. So standing in the same square I am to gain 1 lament. Not going to happen. So if you don't, I am going to gain 2 hunger. Wow, that's me bad. So we'll place these 2 onto our gunslinger's board. Now we'll draw 1 for our for our keeper here and see what our keeper is going to get for the corruption card. It has frenzied. Move 1 toward the closest hunter for each hunger you have. Then deal 1 damage to all other hunters in 0 for each hunger you have. For each damage dealt, I discard a hunger. Okay. Funny enough, this is actually going to kind of help me. I could move 1, 2, gain some curse tokens, and maybe get this treasure eventually, but I'm going to move 1, 2 right there. I am 1 space away from the Griefbound, which is actually where I want to be. That's going to be good. I am going to put the gunslinger kind of in charge of the minions again, and he's probably just going to concentrate everything onto that guy if he can. All right, he's done the frenzied. Now we're going to check. I do only have 2, so I'm going to heal 2 or move 1. I'm going to heal 2, going back 8 up to 10. The reason I'm going to do that is because I only need to do 2 damage to the card because I already did 3 damage thanks to that whirling, spinning death mace. We finished with our corruption. Our corruption is done. We'll discard that card. And we are going to move on to the rest of the lament phase where I'm going to be able to spend my lament. So we are going to advance this. I'm going to spend 2 here. Well, actually, let's do the gunslinger first because he has the first player token. I'm just going to move it up to 5. That's all I'm going to do with my lament for him. I'll spend 2 here, though, to be able to bring it up to 4, which now I can grab 2 cards and hopefully evolve into Awesome City. We have Breaking the Seal, passive. During the evolution, I can heal 1, draw 1 additional evolution card to choose from. When you flip to the corrupted side, I heal 5. Once per game, at any time, I can heal 5 and remove this card. Whoa, that's so good. Oh my gosh, that's called Breaking the Seal. It's called Breaking the Game. Oh my gosh, I can break the game with that. All right, next one is Undying. Oh, we've seen Undying. Okay, oh boy, I got to choose between these 2. We are going to grab Breaking the Seal. I think just being able to get rid of basically healing 5 points of damage is going to be super good. All right, that's the end there. I have done my lament step. I do not wish to move my corruption track up to 7. I think we're doing okay from where we are. I could break the seal, which is a pretty awesome name for a card, to put myself at 15 health if I want to at some point. Now, that's the end of that. We have to go to the refresh phase where we're going to pass our first player token back over to the keeper. The keeper is now our first player token. And then I'm going to refresh all my action spaces and regain my dice, which is just fine. And if I had any generic tokens out there, I would refresh those or remove those and get those ready and so on and so forth. There's nothing else I think I do during the refresh phase, so we're just going to get ready to roll our dice. I know I moved this card up towards the board, but it should be refreshed back up to the board at this point during the refresh phase. All right, I think we're ready to roll. Our keeper has 6 dice to roll. We only got 1 magic symbol. Oh boy, I kind of want a little more magic symbols, but that's okay. We got some pretty good dice there for him, I hope. I have to look at them and see what I can even do with them. Then we'll roll up the ones for the gunslinger here. Our gunslinger got a lot of magic, which is actually really good, I think. Hopefully I can get rid of some of that corruption and things of that nature. We'll put these on his board and figure out what we want to do with those. Now we're going to go to the status phase. I have 2 burns, so I'm going to take 2, 9, 8. I'm at 8 health with my keeper here. Moving into the status phase, I am going to discard these 3 dice. I'm going to discard all 3 of these, put them over here. I can discard as many symbols as I want to get rid of as many tokens as I want to. I'm going to get rid of all 3 of those curse tokens, which also gets rid of my curse of death. Yuck. We're going to put that back into the secret deck, and who knows, we'll probably draw on that again as we go on here. We'll move into our turn now. I am going to start with our keeper because he is the first person here. I am going to spend, well, first I think I'm going to cleanse. I'm going to cleanse to get rid of these 2 burn tokens. I'm done with that for now. I'm going to get them right back, I'm pretty sure. And then I'm going to spend this to move. I'm just going to do a normal move because I want to move into the space where our bad guy is. So that'll put us right into this space here. Interestingly, this has been a really unique situation, a unique battle, because this thing just keeps dealing damage, which has really been helping me, even though it's also been dealing damage to him. Not the end of the world, because he's been able to keep on healing enough to not have to worry about this. So that's his first 2 actions. Now he again is going to do the teleport. I'm going to use my shifting forest here. I have to spend a movement die. So I'm going to spend this die right here to allow myself to activate this card. We'll put this card again next to him to know that he has done that. I have to discard it. So it goes in discard. This guy is going to poof appear over here, which will be awesome. Next, he's going to place this die, this attack die, into here to be able to assist. He's going to assist our keeper. The keeper is going to destroy this guy. He is going to spend 1 here, the 1 attack die, to gain one of these. Now, I may have been doing, I did this wrong. This is considered one of the pieces. So I should only have, I have 1, 2, 3. I should have only 2, 1, 2. So I'm actually going to gain a third one. I'm not going to gain that piece because I should have only gained 1, 2, 3 is what I should do. I should not have started with this sword in my ability right there, from what I understand. Of course, I may start with the whole sword. I don't exactly know, but if I don't start with anything, I should only have 3 pieces of the sword right now, counting this action right here. So I'm going to gain one of these, and it's going to deal 1 damage. So I am going to deal 1 damage to the Griefbound's attack card that he has out right now in the number 1 slot. I am then going to spend both of these attack symbols to activate my card, Demonic Sword of Illusia. Okay, totally said it wrong. I'm going to deal 1 damage, 0 to 1 on a kill. I gain one of these for my sword again, and I believe killing a card will activate that. So I'm now up to 4 of these. And that's because that is our 5th one on this card. So we're going to discard this card, which is awesome. We're not discarded, sorry, we're removing it. And because I killed it, I get to activate this. So we'll roll our die. Let's see what we got. We got the star symbol. Each hunter in 0 to 1 may discard 2 status tokens or 2 hunger tokens. Refill the attack track. Okay, so I get to get rid of 2 of my hunger tokens. That's fantastic. Now, sadly, I have to fill this attack track. So this actually does move over here. What is that? So do not fill the attack track. Okay, so the only way I wouldn't have refilled it if I would have rolled this particular symbol here. There's only 1 on the die. If I got a 12, because it's a 12-sided die. All right, we'll put on another card to know kind of what's coming. And there's technically only 3 cards left before I'm going to move to the final attack card. So that was really good. We got 1 card down. And because we were able to remove that card, each of our characters does get 1 lament. So we'll place these onto our player boards. And before I take my hunter's next turn, actions, sorry, I should have picked up this because I finished my action with that chest in there. So we have to take the next treasure token. We have found choose 1, heal 4. Well, it doesn't help him. He's at full health. Gain a blue die or each hunter loses 1 corruption. Losing 1 corruption for a keeper is huge because he can lose 1 corruption. And then when we go to the lament phase, I can spend this to go back onto this and evolve again. It's a really awesome thing. Now, sadly, our gunslinger is just going to lose the 1 and go to 4, but that's okay. He's going to probably be gaining a lot to be able to get up to 7 anyway, because he's going to shoot at both of these and kill both of these minions. By placing a double move right here and then a single attack right there, he deals 1 damage to both of these minions, giving him 2 lament, bringing his lament to 3. Those are his 2 actions. And then funny enough, I use that. Okay, I use that, but I'm going to do this. What I'm going to do is I am going to use my double here to give myself 2 more of these tokens. And from what I understand, I could be wrong about this, I can turn one of these 2s I can put here, but then I can turn this 2 into a 4 if I wish to. And I think I'm going to do that because I'm probably about to get wrecked by that wrecking ball for 3 damage. This time I wouldn't take any. The next thing I do is I'm going to give this defense token or defense over to my gunslinger. Our gunslinger still has the ability to do another action if he wishes to. And the gunslinger is going to use the assist action to be able to create another bullet. That is going to pass for the gunslinger. Our keeper has no more ability to do anything with dice, so our keeper is done as well. That's the end of our hunter's phase, so we'll move into the event phase. Hopefully this is not another one of his cards. That'd be, oh my gosh, I drew all 3 of these cards. I know I shuffled the deck. It says here, Dimension Door. Each hunter may gain 1 stun to teleport to a chosen portal space. Is that worth doing? I don't think so. I don't think we want to be anywhere near the portal spaces. They're all on horrible things. If you are fighting the Tormentor, each hunter teleports to a chosen tortured device space, triggering this on effect. The hunters may place a stun token on their run or sprint action to ignore that effect. Now, before I do that, of course, I forgot my whirling ball of death. Let's roll up our whirling ball of death. Our whirling ball of death, ooh, got a different symbol this time. It got a little star symbol. This one says, move 2 towards the closest enemy and deal 3 damage to each hunter and enemy in, oh, well, it's still gonna do the same thing. 3 damage to that dude, 3 damage to me. I'm okay with that. I'm going to choose to do 3 damage to this body part right here because this one's going to activate and move off. So it's not going to be worth it to do 3 damage to that. Now, I do have to take 3 damage on my keeper. So I'm going to discard this 2 and just take 1 going down to 7. Well, let's hear 7. The torture device space we're going to move to, I think, is going to be this one. Sadly, I know that guy's going to be able to get us up there, but if I stay here, this guy's gonna be able to get us. There's one guy right over here. He's gonna be able to get us over here. And any of the other torture device spaces, I can get hit by anything here. So I think going over here is fine. I'm gonna gain 2 stun tokens for both of my characters. I don't know if this is the best plan, but we'll see how this goes. Let's grab those 4 stun tokens, 2 for each of our guys. I'm going to place them out here. I'm going to put one on my tactics slot and one on my sprint slot. There we go for him. For this character, I'm again going to put on the tactics slot, and I'm actually going to put it over here on my gain 2 and discard 1 dice. It's on his leather armor and ammo belt. I've placed it right here onto that slot. I think that'll be just fine. I can get rid of these with cleanse, so that's totally fine. This minion is going to do that slow advance. This one's also going to do a slow advance and gain a 2 shield. We'll put that in the back slot here. It's probably going to fall right out. Well, good there. This guy is actually going to perform the attack. It says here, if there's a hunter within 0 to 3 and line of sight, curse chant, attack all hunters in there for 2 dice, otherwise careful approach with 1. So I'm going to roll 2 dice, and it does say for every scratch and 1 in 12 symbol. And sadly, I apologize, I don't know what the actual symbols are. I'm going to actually get dealt a damage and a curse. Since our keeper is first, I'll roll that character up first. I've gotten, well, that's super funny that I got the 1 in 12 shot. So I'm going to take 2 damage, and I'm going to gain 2 curse. I could choose to use my 4 shield, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to take the 2 damage. And then I do get 2 curse tokens. If I were to use my 4 defense and prevent the 2 damage from hitting my character, it still would not prevent the curse tokens that I would be gaining. So I gain 2 curses, and I get a secret card number 1. So we'll just take all those out again. We'll shuffle these up a little bit, and we'll grab one of the cards. We got Curse of Misfortune. It says here, curse teaches how vengeful fortune might be. During the enemy attack, take the following thing. For each attack, for each damage, for each damage, for each symbol has no effect, 1 or 2, during the enemy attack, take the following damage. For each scratch, damage symbol or star symbol, that has no effect. Oh, okay, so for every time something doesn't actually affect me, it's going to affect me. If I have no curses, I get to put that back in the deck. I'm going to gain 2 curses for my, not gain 2 curses yet. He might actually miss both times. The chances of that is about 1.5 billion, but you never know. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? He did miss both times. He missed both times. He needs to have the scratches or that. Oh, my gunslinger is amazing. He's like never going to get hit. After that incredible roll there, I am going to go to the elite phase, and we're going to remove 1 token from there, and then we'll move into the Griefbound. He is going to Punishment They Deserve. Move 2. The Griefbound may go through torture devices during this movement if they are portals, and I'll attack everybody for 3 dice. He is focused, so each hunter takes 1 damage for each status token they have. Then each hunter discards all status tokens. Oh, that's going to be really, really bad. I should have maybe heard his focus point. Oh well, I think we'll be okay. And by okay, I mean not okay. He's going to move over to this torture device right here and stand there with us both there. Maybe this is not a good idea to come together like this. I was more worried about the minions. I probably shouldn't have been, because now this guy's going to wreck both of my guys. Starting with the keeper, we're going to roll 3 dice. I'm actually hoping that I see that symbol, because that symbol does not activate any of his damage. I'm sure that's not going to happen, but we'll see how this goes. Oh, I did get one. That did not activate any damage. That's awesome. So each of those is going to do 2 damage and moves 1 towards the closest torture device. I'm already standing on a torture device. Sadly, I wish I would have had more 2s, but I don't. I have 1 4, so that's going to block 2 of the damage. Then I'm going to take 2. This states here, at any time, heal 5 and remove this card. When you flip through the corrupted side of heal 5, I'm going to hold that. I think I might have a chance here. Now, I did roll this, and I have my Curse of Misfortune. So since I have 2 curses, I am going to gain 1 more damage, going down to 2. I think I still have to use the card no matter what happens here. I think that's going to be the deal, because the next part of the card, since he's focused, each hunter is going to take 1 damage for each status token they have. Then each hunter discards all status tokens. So I am going to get rid of all of these, but I am going to take 4 damage, bringing me down to 0. So I am going to discard this, and I am going to instead heal 5, which then I'm going to take 4 damage, which means I'm going to go to 3 damage. That's the best I can do for the keeper. The keeper doesn't have any status tokens. That's pretty awesome. But that's the end of the attack against the keeper. Now it's time to see what happens to the Gunslinger. The Gunslinger has no damage or can't soak up any damage with armor. And with that roll, he is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage, bringing him down to 6. Oh, I needed armor on him. That would have been good. And then he's going to take 2 more for the 2 stun tokens that he has, bringing him down to 4. 1 turn has totally turned this around. Oofta, I am in big trouble right now. I am going to discard this one, move this one down, and then we'll draw our next attack card. Now, the interesting thing about this guy is he most of the time is going to refill this attack track unless I roll that 1 and 12. And if that's the case, oh my gosh, this is so brutal. All right. That's the end of that phase. Now, of course, sadly, I also forgot something that could be pretty detrimental to us. I forgot that my Gunslinger has hunger tokens. But of course, we're not there yet. We're going to move this over to the special, and it says each hunter on 0 to 1 in line of sight from the torture device resolves its on-entry effect. Oh, they get their stun tokens back. So again, I'm going to stun my sprint and tactics here for him. I'm going to remove this card and put it back into the secrets deck, and we'll hopefully never see it again. For this character, I'm again going to stun the tactics, and I'm going to stun the headshot, I think is what I'm going to do. Because both cards out right now are torso cards, so I can't really even damage them. Well, I don't get the benefit of the headshot. And using 2 dice just to do 1 damage isn't the greatest. I've got better options for my long rifle. We'll go into our Lament step. I'll draw a corruption card for the Keeper, being the first player. Yearning, hunger, doesn't have any hunger. All right, 0 to 6, move 2 or gain a 2 defense. You may gain 2. Okay, I don't really want to move 2. I kind of like where I am. So I am actually just going to gain the 2 defense token. Who knows? Maybe that'll help down the line. I'll place it right here. That's just fine. We'll draw our Gunslinger's card. And I've got, again, Hunger. Move 1 towards the chosen enemy. Toward the chosen enemy for each hunger you have. Deal 1 damage at range 0 for each hunger you have. For each damage dealt, discard a hunger. Really? Toward an enemy? Oh, I'm going to stay right there. Move 1 toward the chosen enemy. What's the enemy I'm choosing? I'm going to choose the Griefbound. That's what I'm going to choose. Move 1 towards that enemy, and I'm going to deal 1 damage in space 0 for each hunger you have. Then the damage for each damage dealt, discard a hunger. I'm going to discard 2 hunger, and I'm going to do 2 damage to that Griefbound. I'm going to put 2 damage on that one, bring it to 5. I do need to do 6 to this particular one. Now, one thing that could happen is as we play through this guy could level up, which means that if we flip it, it's going to go to 2, and see how it becomes harder to kill these cards. It's now at 6, 8, and 10 instead of 5, 6, 7. Lucky for us, we haven't had that happen yet. A lot of the times that happens inside of the stage deck, from what I understand, but it also could maybe happen in the event stage as well. Now, the Gunslinger does have 0 to 8 corruption, so he's going to heal 2 or lose 1 corruption at the end of the corruption step. Reshuffle the corruption deck. So I'm going to reshuffle it. It's now at the end of the corruption step. I'll reshuffle that deck. Totally fine. And I can either heal 2 or lose 1 corruption. I know I don't have a lot of health, but I want to lose 1 corruption again because I can again level up just on the 4 space. At this point, we come to the spending of the Lament. So I am going to spend 1 Lament here to go back to 4. That's going to give us the ability to draw 2 cards and see what we have. Sadly, I had to get rid of my card that healed me when I evolved, but that's okay. We have Hunger Overflow. Gain 2 hunger, refresh 1 chosen action, restore 2 discarded dice. Passive at the beginning of the Lament phase, you may discard 1 hunger. That's not bad. Well, I guess this choice might be made for me. I can pick one of these to take. Well, I don't know. They're both hunger overflows. I could discard both of those and just gain a die, but I think I will gain the hunger overflow. I think I'm okay with that. We'll put this one on the bottom. All right, and that's the end of that because I don't have any others to spend. I'll spend my first one, bringing myself back to 4, and see what 2 cards we got for our Gunslinger's evolution. Hopefully we can reforge more bullets. Here we go, Monster Hunter. On a Griefbound card kill, you may forge a bullet for each empty slot and gain 1 tactics for each empty slot. Remove this card. Passive, during evolution, if you choose an evolution card with a bullet slot, forge 1 in the slot of that card. And smart approach, tactics, refresh step, gain 1 tactics. So I can get another tactics card, which allows me to re-roll dice if I want to. I think I'm going to do this one. What the heck? We'll give this a shot. I'm going to grab this Monster Hunter card, and we'll discard that one back to the deck. I have 2 more Lament. We might as well spend those. Now I could, of course, draw on a couple more cards by spending 1 of those. Do I want to? No, I think we're good. We're just going to move up the track to 6. That's going to be just fine. And I don't have any hunger. I could discard hunger with these tokens as well. During the refresh step, we're going to grab all our tactics tokens back to our characters so they have those. And then we're going to refresh all our dice and we're going to roll them up and see what we have this time. I do have 2 stuns on both of my guys, so being able to cleanse those might help. We'll pass this token back over to our gunslinger. Our gunslinger will roll first, all 6 dice. We've got more magic symbols. I love getting those magic symbols. I get rid of that, all the bad stuff. Now, sadly, I didn't get a lot of really good, I think, help for my attacking this turn, but again, we'll see. Maybe that's going to be okay. We'll roll up our keeper's dice here and see what we got. I got 1 magic symbol that can help cleanse, but that's about it. It's funny, I got rid of my tactics because this would be a really good time to use tactics because these dice really don't help me all that much. Okay, that's okay. We're going to figure this out. I'm going to use this to deal 1 damage to an enemy in line of sight. I am going to shoot this minion that had to hit us with those curse cards. That was horrible. That minion is dead. I'm going to grab a lament from that. Then I'm going to spend 1 of these to sprint. We're going to sprint up to this rift right here and grab the lament from there. Our keeper is going to cleanse with 1 action to discard 2 status tokens. I want to get rid of both my stuns because he likes to do damage to us based on those. Then I'm going to spend, actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my tactics token to reroll these dice because as you can see, none of these are actually going to do any damage. We'll roll these up and see how we do. Ooh, that's going to be way better. Look at that, so much better. For my second action, I am going to assist with this shield over to our gunslinger. Having performed 2 actions with our gunslinger, we're done there. Or sorry, with our keeper, we're done on that side. We are going to shoot with this. I'm going to use 2 dice here to do 2 damage by spending this bullet. And I know I only need 1 more to deal damage to the card, but the reason I'm using this bullet is because then on a grief-bound card kill, you may forge a bullet for each empty slot and gain 1 tactics for each empty slot. So I'll also be able to gain a tactics for each empty slot that I had. And I do have 1 empty bullet slot, so I'm going to gain a tactics card. I'm going to do 2 damage. Sadly, it's going to be a little overkill, but that's okay. We're going to kill this card. Everybody's going to gain 2 lament from that card because it says the person who shot the person gets 2 lament and the other person gets 2 lament as well. We'll remove this card and we'll roll our die and hopefully get the 1 in 12 shot here. Let's see. Oh, rolled a long ways away. We still got the scrape. So it says may sprint or discard 2 status tokens, refill the attack track. I'm going to discard 2 stun tokens with my for my gunslinger, and the other guy isn't going to do anything because he doesn't have any. I wish I would have cleansed. Doesn't have anything he can do. I want to stay there because I want to hit this guy really bad. All right, we're going to do that. Is done. I'm going to refill the attack track. So we're going to put this one here. We're going to draw our next card. And since there is the final attack showing here, we're going to take our discard pile, shuffle it up a little bit, even though there's only 2 cards here, put it back down. And now this is the torso. I need to do 7 damage to that. This is also a torso. I need to do 6 damage to. Oofda. So now at this point, I might almost want to take this card out because it always refills this track, it seems like, unless you get a 1 in 12 shot. So just dealing with this for 1 turn might not be bad because this will move over here and I won't have to deal with it. And there's only 1 left on here, so he's going to be coming out again next round. Interestingly, I'm going to assist him with this double token here, which he can use. That's the 2 actions for this character. Like I said, this guy's going to just whoop up on some system of agony, I think is what the plan is here. We're going to see how much damage I can do to this. We're going to spend 1 attack here, which I know is a little overkill, to put my final piece of sword in here, which is going to be super good. I now have a completed sword. It looks so awesome. This is going to then allow me to do 2 damage. So we're going to do 2 damage to the Symphony of Agony. It still has 4 more that has to deal damage to it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, but we're going to give it our best try here. The next action I'm going to perform is the double magic action that I got on my sword down here, which is going to deal 2 damage to a thing within 1 space. So that's going to do 2 damage to the System of Agony. I've done 4 damage to it right now. Those are the 2 actions for my keeper. This is going to be really odd, but I do have a tactics token. I can't use this magic die, and this is a defense die. If I could get this to be a double move, which I don't think is on here, or I could get it to be an attack. Oh, it doesn't have any attacks on it. Oh no, this isn't going to work at all. Oh no, this is going to be super sad. All I can use it for is defense and movement and magic. Oh no, that's horrible. Okay, I got a plan. I am just going to use this to move 2. I'm going to move right to here. That way I'm out of line of sight from this being, unless of course he moves. But before I do that, I've got a plan. I am going to spend this to refresh a chosen weapon action. So I'm going to get this action back. Sadly, it's not really going to help me too much. I'm going to put this into it does put the die into the discard area, but it does give me that action back. If something happens, I can maybe get that die back. I don't think it's going to happen. I am going to put that into my move, though, and move where I said I was going to. Okay, I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, but actually I am. I'm pretty excited about this. I am going to use my Hunger Overflow to put a token on it. I am then going to gain 2 hunger for my character. We'll put it right there on his board. At this point now, I can refresh 1 chosen action or restore 2 discarded dice. I don't have any discarded dice. Instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to refresh this action. I'm just going to give the token back over to the gunslinger for, nope, I'll put it in the discard pile over there. Then I don't have 2 magic, but on this card, I can spend 2 of my sword and place a stun on this action to do 2 damage to something in 0. So I am going to discard 2 pieces of my sword to do 2 points of damage to the Symphony of Agony. That is going to kill the Symphony of Agony card and get it out of there, which is fantastic. I'm going to remove all of those tokens. At this point, I am, let's see, refresh one to say, then I've placed, okay, that's fantastic. Spend 2 and place a stun. I do have to stun this, so you can't just keep doing it, which would have been really good. I could have done it again, but this action is now stunned. That's my first action. That wasn't even an action. This does that. And then this is just spend 2. So that did not even do an action yet. Then I am going to spend a die, which is going to be this one, onto here to remove a defense token, gain 1, and discard a stun. So I'm going to discard this stun, removing that defense token from there. And I get to gain back a piece of my sword, bringing it back to 4 pieces of sword. That's my first action. My second action will be this one to give myself 2 more defense tokens, which is going to be fantastic. And that's the end of those. My gunslinger is actually going to pass, doesn't have any actions he can do. I am then going to sprint with my keeper. I'm actually going to be a little bit smarter. He's going to move to there. He's still out of range, which is what I want. This character then can move 1, 2 to back there. As an action, I could draw and resolve a random secret card 11 if I want to. I don't see why not. Those are his 2 actions, though. The gunslinger's passed, so for my next action, I'm just going to activate that space. Let's see what happens. I get to grab an 11 card. What's the worst thing that can happen? Nothing. Nothing could happen. Let's see what we found. There's 2 of them. There's 2 11 cards. Let's give those a little shuffle here. Not hard to shuffle here. There we go. We'll draw this one. We have found ourselves Witch's Request. The witch hides her amulet in the shape of blood. Moon, in a cold voice, asks you to offer some magic to help her perform her experiment. Block the Speak with the Witch action with a token. Each hunter on the witch hut tile may perform the following. Discard 2 magic symbols to pass, or place a token on this card. When there are tokens equal to the amount of hunters, which would be 2, I can resolve the ritual. Hunter heals 3, each of us. Draw a secret card 9. Choose 100 to gain it. If players cannot agree, the first player decides, then put the card back into the secret's deck. That's awesome. I will put that down next to my character boards there. I'll place a token on the Speak to the Witch because I can't do that again. And that's it. Now I have to pass with the keeper. Good news, there are only 3 cards that are for him, so this can't be one of them. Tempting Feast. They say that before you see the devourer, you hear the crunch of bone and its maw. A gluttonous bishop from before the fall of Krollholm would you do the same. The crack of bones in his mouth was disgustingly loud. I'm going to place 1 lament on number 2. Each hunter chooses to heal 3 and gain 2 stun, or gain 2 hunger. We're healing 3, gaining 2 stun, and placing a lament on on rift number 2. We'll place 1 lament right on rift number 2, which is actually pretty awesome because it's really close to my guys. We'll heal 2, going up to 3, 4, 5. Am I at 3? Really? I go to 5. Oh boy. This person's going up to 6. Wow, that's so much better. So maybe if I read, it may be even better than I thought. So it goes to 7. And our keeper goes to 6. I heal 3, not 2. None of our minions are near us. They're just going to slowly advance. which is fantastic. They can just stay way over there. I was a little worried about this. This is where our elite comes back. So we're going to flip that card and put our elite back on the board, which will be right here. There we are. We're going to activate Agonizing Bash. Move 2, then move 2. Move 4 according to the diagram and deal 4 damage to each hunter in the marked area, which is basically a straight line. And then I'm going to resolve the special, which states each hunter within 0 and 1 and line of sight from a torture device resolves an on-enter effect. I am not near enough. I'm not 0 to 1 to any torture devices this time, which is fantastic. Then the person is going to attack all hunters in 0 to 1 from a torture device with 2 dice. I am not close enough to torture devices, so all I'm going to do is have to take 4 damage from him charging straight through us. Then I'm going to discard that card, and we'll put out our next card, which is right here, Punishment They Deserve. This is going to, and then next turn we'd fill this one, and this one will come out. So I'm getting close to the end if I'm lucky enough. I actually want to just keep killing this card, and then he doesn't even really activate on his turn. Now, I cheated last time. This is never supposed to be open. Basically, I do have to slide this down and then put the new card out. You're not necessarily supposed to be able to have a point where the Griefbound isn't actually making a move. That is my fault. There's probably a subtitle in there. And of course, if I do make any other mistakes during this, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll try to put a pinned comment explaining some of the things that I did wrong so other people watching this video can learn from this and hopefully not make the same mistakes I did. So just to recap, when this card is here, or when there is no card here, since this one went off, that one went off the board, one shouldn't go in the one in the next turn should move to this so that these slots are always full. So that's the deal. The bonus to be able to put damage onto this card would be that then you could make it easier to kill before it activates. That's the only advantage to attacking this card. Removing this card is not going to really help you from having other cards not activate, from what I understand. So returning to our board, this thing is going to move 2, which is going to be right here, and then it's going to charge into this space doing 4 damage because I'm the closest person. The first player token is only used for doing, what do you call them? Tiebreakers, and so he's the closest, so I'm going to be dealt 4 damage. And of course I forgot to move the Whirling Ball of Death. So roll the die. The Whirling Ball of Death has move 2 towards the closest hunter, then deal 3 damage. So it's going to move 1, 2 to right there, and it has to be within 0. Oh no, it's 1 to 0. Nope, it is. It's 0. Sorry. I thought 1 to 0. That'd be really bad. Move 2 towards the closest hunter. Deal 3 damage to each hunter and enemy in 0. Sadly, it would have been really nice to have it hit there, and I knew that guy was coming, so actually stepping into that space would have been great, but he would have took a ton of damage, so it actually wouldn't have mattered. Meanwhile, back over here, we're going to take 4 damage. I do have 2 defense, so I'm going to take 2, 1, 2, bringing me down to 5. All right, we're going to go into the turn track. The turn track is going to spawn. No, sorry, it's going to go to stage, so I'm going to draw my first stage card. We have More Anguish. Setup, level up Griefbound. And each elite enemy, place this card next to the Griefbound board. Passive, torture devices have an additional effect on entry, deal 2 damage. Yuck. Okay, so these guys, like I said, sometimes level up. This guy's going to level up to this. So it's now going to take 6, 8, and 10 in order to deal the damage to kill our Griefbound cards. Our elite is also going to level up to level 2. It is now going to take 8 to take out this particular elite enemy. Going to the Lament phase, I'm going to pay 1 to go to this particular area here and grab a couple cards. Let's see what we found. Explosive bullets. Here we go. This is what I want. Ambush. When the enemy ends its movement on a 0 to 1 from you, you may discard 1 tactics to deal 1 damage to that enemy. These are both really good, but I'm going to take the one with the bullets because remember, I'm going to be starting to forge those bullets. That'll be pretty sweet. Put that down there. Then I get to discard 3 more. 1, 2, 3 to go up to 10, which is going to be fantastic. Now, at this point, I'm starting to get more action slots, so I might want to get some dice. Oh my gosh, but look at this. I can forge so many more bullets. Escape Ruin, special ammo upgrade. I can put a die here to get that, to give me +1 damage, or I can put anything to teleport to the closest portal space. I don't like to teleport to portal spaces. That's bad. All the portal spaces are on torture devices. Oh, but I could get another bullet card. This is going to be 2. Well, let's see what this is. This action targets all enemies on a chosen space in range. That's really not going to help me. I don't have a lot of that happening. So let's see. What was that other card? The other card was Ambush. Oh, I kind of like the... Let's take the Ambush card. Let's take the Ambush card, and I am going to discard these as well to be able to... What's the other one? Dodge. Whenever an enemy attacks you, you may discard 1 tactics to reduce the number of dice by 1 to a minimum of 1. That'd be good as well, but I think I need more dice. So I don't actually have too many more that I'm putting on. So I actually am going to keep the dodge card. We're going to keep that dodge card, and we want to get some tactics tokens now. Those would be really good. So I can get some tactics, keep placing them on these tactics cards. That'll help me out. It's time for him. Oh, the lament phase. I have to draw corruption cards first. I'm sorry. We'll draw the corruption card for our gunslinger. Our gunslinger has no hunger and had a corruption value of 5 to 15. You may exchange up to 3 status tokens for hunger tokens. If you don't, I'm going to gain 2 burn. I don't have any status tokens, so I'm going to have to gain 2 burn. That was absolutely terrible. So we'll put those onto our gunslinger's board. Getting corruption is not always the best. This one, though, on the other hand, does have 0 to 4. Gain 2 a defense of 2 or status tokens. I will take the defense 2 token and place it right there. I do have 2 hunger. It says move 1 towards the closest space with lament. For each hunger you have, take the lament if you reach it. Otherwise, take 1 damage for each hunger you have. For each damage taken, discard 1 hunger. All right, I have to resolve that first before I get the defense token. So let's do that. This again is going to be kind of helpful if I want to take this guy out, because I'm going to have to move 1, 2 to right there towards number 2, which has the lament on it. At this point, I'm going to have to take 2 damage because I am not able to reach it. And I lied. I've got to read my cards. This one says, beginning of your lament phase, you may discard 1 hunger. So there's always a lot of going on once the game gets going here. So I'm only going to move 1 space towards that, and only going to take 1 damage going down to 4. These are not considered status tokens, so I cannot, from what I understand, I think they are called status tokens, but I don't think I can discard them. I only think I can discard the other ones. These are discarded and used in a different way from other status cards. Okay, that's the end of the lament phase. I'm going to gain back my dice, which would be just fine. There we go, get my dice back. I'll pass our first player token back over to the keeper. We'll roll our dice for the keeper, hopefully get some good stuff here. I got some magic, some move, and some fight. That's okay. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure I can figure out something with those dice. Next, we're going to roll up for our gunslinger. Our gunslinger got a double hit. Oh, look at these double runs. That's fantastic. Then we also got a cleanse as well. Going into the status phase, I could use one of those to get rid of 1. I'm not going to. I'm probably just going to use the cleanse to get rid of both of them. I did forget to do the lament phase for him. He should have actually gone up 1 because I could discard that 1 token. Interestingly, I didn't catch this. This does say you may discard 1 hunger. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep the 2 hunger. That way I can actually move 2, which would have been more advantageous for me because my goal is to kill this thing. So I actually need to get into his space, and that thing moves so slow. Getting agility dice for him probably would have been a good plan, but I was really thinking I might be able to move him around with my shifting forest a little bit, but actually everything's kind of been in this general location, so that's been okay with his movement so far. But because I chose to keep the hunger, I do have to take 1 more damage. We'll start here. We're going to move 2 with our sprint, and then we're going to cleanse, because when I move on there, I'm going to take 2 burn. And because of our new More Anguish card, I'm going to also take 2 damage going down to 1. You know what? I'm going to use one of my defense tokens and take no damage when I step onto that vile thing. And where I'm moving is going to be boiling oil, which means I'm going to be gaining 2 burn tokens. And like I said, I'm just going to cleanse those. So this person is now right there. Our gunslinger is going to move 2 to right here using the move die that the gunslinger has. After running to there, I am going to spend my double move to deal 1 damage plus 1 additional damage if it's in the head. This does 3 damage in the head. Maybe I should do that instead. Oh, that sounds pretty good. But we're going to do this one. 1, 2, 3, because I'm going to use my bullet, bringing it to 3 damage. That means we've done 3 damage to the body part that is showing on the top here, which is punishment they deserve, which is a headshot. So I did do 3 damage to the head there for that one. The keeper is going to use a lot of resources, but is going to take out this elite again. That is the plan. How we're going to do it, we are going to first place this here. This is going to be my piece of my sword. I am going to gain the piece of sword and deal 2 damage to the enemy in that location. So we've done 2 damage to this particular enemy. I am then going to spend 2 and place 1 stun on this action, deal 2 damage to a person in that square. So we are going to take these back and go up to here. We're going to deal 2 more damage to that, and I'm going to put a stun token on that particular card. So we're up to 4 damage on that enemy. Now, I don't believe that was an action. It just says spend 2 and place it here to stun on this action. Oh, it is an action. Okay, so we're done there. The gunslinger is going to do the headshot here, which is going to be super, super good. I think that's what I want to do. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're going to do the headshot because that's going to do 3 damage. So we're going to place that one, and we're going to place, what other one do I not need? I do have to place one more die. I think I'll place this one and use the defense die. I don't think there's anything else I can use it for. Okay, there we go. I'm going to deal 3 damage instead with my headshot, which is enough to remove this card. This card is now removed. I'm going to gain 1, and so is the other guy, the keeper. That's going to be a card removed. At this point, I'm going to roll my opportunity and regain some composure here. I got the star. Each hunter within 0-1 may discard 2 status tokens or 2 hunger and refill the attack track. I don't have anybody within 0 to 1. Sadly, again, maybe a different gun would have been better to bring in here. But we're going to slide this one down and this one down. And now we are going to be entering the final attack card. Final attack card is going to be revealed. And I have to kill this thing. Okay. This one cannot be discarded from the turn slot. It moves 2, resolves its special, which is going to do a lot of bad things. And then attack all hunters 0 to 1. Each hunter resolves the on-enter effect of all torture devices within their line of sight. Oh, barf, that's terrible. Now that we're in this final area here, what we're going to do is we're going to remove any remaining attack cards from the game. So these 2 are going to be removed, and we are going to move this one down to here. All right, next I'm going to remove any secret 2 cards, which are critical attack injury cards. We're not going to be having those anymore. We'll reveal the final attack card and place it in this turn slot, which is right here. We're going to level up the Griefbound and each elite enemy. So now the Griefbound is now level 3. And according to his card, I need to do 7 damage to him. I also have to power up the elite as well. I now have to do 9 damage to this guy, so I might be doing a small little bit of rewind here before we do this, because I would have wanted to take this guy out before that happened. We'll see if we could have even done that. Once we've leveled up those enemies, we are going to end the hunt phase right there. End the hunter's phase right there and go right into the enemy. So like I said, I want to see if there's a way I could have got him before we did the headshot on that guy. So these would have been the headshot dice. Let's see if I could have done something else for the 2 actions before I would have gone to this, so that I could have actually killed the person before that would have happened. I am going to put a die here, which is going to cleanse. I can do this. I can cleanse. That'll be fantastic. Now I do have a double move die here that I can use. Or I've got a shield die I could use as well that is going to allow me to choose one weapon slot and be able to remove it. I'm going to remove that weapon slot, totally fine. And I'll be putting this into the discard pile. Those are his 2 actions. Now his next action is going to be the headshot. But let's go to our keeper and see if he can take out the Bell Frog, which still only had 6 damage or 8 damage before it moves on and levels up. I apologize. I totally forgot that the hunt phase ends when that happens, because I was still planning to hopefully take this guy out. All right, so we're going to do here's my plan. We are going to spend this to discard 1 shield token, which is going to be the only shield token I have, which is going to be kind of brutal here. I'm going to discard a stun token and be able to gain one of my sword pieces here. That's going to be my first action. The second action, oh no, this isn't going to work. I am actually going to have to deal with that guy at a higher level. Okay, let's see if there's something else. I might be able to do it. Hold on. We're going to put this back. Put this back. Let's see if we there's a puzzle here. I can figure out this puzzle. Hopefully I can figure out the puzzle. I'm going to put my 2 token back again. All right. I am going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to overflow my character to gain 2 hunger and remove a chosen action die. They're going to discard that over to the discard pile. Now we're going to do our first action, which is going to be this. It's going to be our first action. That's going to do 2 damage because I'm going to gain one of these. All right, I'm going to gain one of those. Oh, but I also get 2 hunger because now I've got tons of hunger. This is also going to be really bad. I've got, that token's all stuck together. There we go. And that's the end. That did 2 damage, so I'm up to 6, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it. I don't think I'm going to get it. Okay, well, that's okay. We're going to give it our best shot here. I could still do 1, but that's only going to do 1. It's only going to be 7. I need to do 8 damage. Just need to push 1 more damage through, and I don't think I can do it. Oh, that's going to be so bad. Well, all right, that's how it goes. I am going to be able to discard this to remove a stun token. Do I really want to remove the stun token now? Because that guy's going to wreck me. I think I'm going to have to just take it. I don't think getting... Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the 2 dice here. Now that I know I can't kill him, I'm going to gain more defense. I'm going to gain another 2 and a 4. So we're going to put a 4 here, and we'll keep that other... Or we'll keep the other 2. Sorry, I'll put a 2 here and turn this into a 4. Either way, same deal. All right, there we go. All right, that's the best I could do. Now we headshot, and we go right into the enemy step. I was so close to taking out the Belfrog, but I didn't quite do it. So we're going to do our event card, see what that says. Confusing Miss, place 1 on Lament on Rift 4. Then each hunter chooses 1, move 2 towards the Griffbound, place a stun token on a run and sprint action. Yuck. All right, so we're going to deal that. Now I also have to forget about my little ball and chain here. Let's see how that goes. Ball and chain is scratchy, scratchy. He's going to move 2 towards the closest hunter and deal 3 damage. Lucky for me, it's going to actually just move in here and kill this dude, and he's dead. I'm going to gain 2 lament for that, I think, because I'm the last person to deal damage. I don't know how that actually works, but I'm going to get 2 for the keeper, and I'll give 1 to the gunslinger, and then I have to take 3 damage as well. I'm going to just remove my 4 damage token and take nothing from the ball and chain flying around. Now I'll place 1 of these on Lament 4, which is down at the bottom off camera, sorry, and then we move 2 towards the Griefbound. Each hunter chooses 1 or place a stun on... I'm just going to move towards the Griefbound because I'm sure he's going to be able to get us. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Move 2, resolve special, move 2, and then just rock everybody. So he's going to be able to get to us. So I'm going to move 2 towards him. That's fine. This guy's going to move 2 towards him as well, which actually gets me off of some of those evil, vile things. And that's going to be it for the event card. Our minions aren't anywhere near us. They're just going to move 1, which is their movement value. They're just going to move 1 up there. We go. Cautious advance. I didn't roll to see when the elite comes back. He's going to come back in 2 turns, I think. We're just going to look at the back here. I'm going to place 2 tokens on the elite card, so he might come back. We'll see how this goes. I have a feeling I'm about to get dead, but who knows? Maybe this won't be as bad as I think. Now it is time for the Griefbound. It is going to move 2, resolve special. Each hunter within 0 to 1 line of sight of torture device receives the on-entry effect. And the on-entry effect is going to deal an extra 2 damage because of our status card, which means that the keeper is going to gain 2 stun and is going to also take 2 damage being next to the electric chair. And he's not going to move because he is already in a square with him. I'll place these 2 stun tokens on my tactics and my sprint for him. I'm going to take 2 damage going to 1. Actually, no, I can just take the 2 damage. We'll use our token. Now we're going to have attack all hunters on a roll of 1 to 0 with 3 dice. Each hunter resolves the on-entry effect of all torture devices in line of sight. I think this is going to be the end. I think I got so close, but it didn't quite work. Our keeper is going to roll 3 dice and doesn't have any defense tokens left, and is going to take 3, 6, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Now, normally when you go to 0 health, you have to take a 2 card, which is going to be kind of like a critical injury and it's a latch-stiff effort. So this one, for example, if this card is next to your hunter board, as long as you have this card, you ignore the negative effects at being in the event step resolve. I have to resolve these. If there's no minions on the map, or if you have at least 6, or it's in your final attack card is revealed, you get to heal 5 and then remove this card. Now, sadly, when we move to the final step, it does tell you to remove all the 2 cards. And it does state, of course, if there are no 2 cards that you can draw when you take the damage and when you go to 0, you are dead. Now, when you are at the final attack, when you're in the final act of the game, you don't lose if 1 person dies. Normally, in the game, if 1 person dies, that is the end of the hunt. You kind of run away and try again, I guess. But when you're in the final version of the game, this is where you're at your best. You're really going to try to take this guy down. So losing your characters is not good. You lose 1, the others still get to fight. Now, sadly, of course, this guy also gets to do 3 damage to the other hunter that's there as well, who's going to take 3, 6, 7, 8. Sadly, the gunslinger only had 5 health left, so he is also dead. That is the end of the playthrough. We got so close, we almost were able to kill him. Now, of course, if we were able to actually attack and defeat him, it does say on the final attack kill, say I was able to do enough damage to kill the card, I would roll my die and check it out. I got a scratch. So it says reduce the level of the Griefbound by 2. So he would go from 3 down to 1. If the Griefbound's level cannot be lowered, the Griefbound is dead. So there's multiple, eventually you will kill it. If you get the 1 in 12 shot on the symbol, you have defeated him, no matter what level the Griefbound is at. If you get to here, you reduce the Griefbound level by 3. 3, which in this particular instance would have killed him. He's at 3, which would have gone to 0, and there is no level 0, so he would have been dead. I would have won the scenario. So all I technically had to do was either roll this or this on the die after doing, was it 7 damage to his heart, doing 7 damage to his heart for this particular encounter. So we were super, super close. So there you have it. That was Grimcoven. I am super pumped for this game. I played the prototype and it was brutal. This at least gives, I felt like I actually had a fighting chance the entire time. And I only played him this one time. I've never played him before. So going into my next game against this particular Griefbound, I would change things up. I probably would take a different gun for my gunslinger if I decided to use the gunslinger. On top of that, I would have been a little bit smarter to make sure at least one of my guys had enough health to hopefully survive an attack by him once we went to his final act. That was one of those are pretty much our downfalls in the game here. But other than that, I think we held up pretty well. The game is absolutely fantastic. I enjoy every aspect of it. I love the dice placement system. I love the leveling up where you can choose cards or you can choose to gain more dice. I love the corruption system, whereas you gain corruption, you're going to go up this track and more detrimental things will happen. I never made it to 15. I apologize. I never got to show you the backside of these particular player boards, but this game is awesome. I am super excited for this game. This game is definitely going to stay in my collection. I had way more fun than I thought I would playing this game. I can't wait to play this game again, and you'll probably see it again on the channel in the future. Now, if you did enjoy the playthrough, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comment section below. I would love to hear from everyone. Have you had a chance to look into this game? After seeing the playthroughs and some of the other content out on the channel, what are your thoughts about Grimcoven? Again, I only had played the prototype, and I was not exactly on par with the game at that time. I was really worried that this was just going to be really, really hard and not very fun unless you played it over and over and over again. But seeing how well I did just the first time fighting this guy, I am super excited for how this game shaped up, and I think this is a fantastic game and knocked it, and I should say Awakened Realms knocked it out of the park again. It is baseball season right now, so it knocked it out of the park. Why not? Now, if you're interested in supporting the channel, the link to the Patreon is located in the description of this video. Those that have joined the channel are shown here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. Those that are part of the Patreon do get some special perks. As stated earlier, we used one of the characters that was voted on by the Patreons, and on top of that, they get to watch Colin and my playthroughs usually about a day or two ahead of time without commercial interruptions. So there you have it. That is Grimcoven by Awakened Realms. Again, thank you so much for supplying me with a review copy that I could showcase the game on Meet Me at the Table. It was super fun, and I can't wait to try it again. All right, so there you have it. And if you're excited to see what Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.